Hello, everyone. Darrell Owens, and we are here and ready for episode 106 of One on One here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. And today we're going to break down week one of those power rankings and kind of get you ready for week two. Man, what a week in the NFL we had. Man, I cannot wait to get into the power rankings with you today. Let's get it going. Legacy Maker Sports Network, Bowie Television. Let's get it right now. Let's do it.
One, 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 one. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to one-on-one at Legacy Maker Sports Network.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are here for episode 106 of One on One here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network and, of course, on Bowie Television. So, once again, like to welcome our Bowie Television viewers for another episode of One on One, episode 106 to be exact. We are excited. The first week of the NFL is down, and that means we got 17 regular season weeks to go. Last year, I felt like it went by too fast, and every time we got going good and we got excited, it was like, man, each week it was like, man, we're hitting it. And the next thing you know, we were at the end of the season. But like I said, we hit in February. We got a lot to get into. We got to break down these power rankings heading into week two. Who are your top 5 MVP candidates? All that good stuff. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you a pre-warning. The first couple of weeks, the power rankings are going to go a lot off of the record. As we get a little bit into the season, I'm going to switch it up a little bit, but we're going to see where these teams are establishing themselves first as we get this bad boy started. Also with that, we're going to get into, like I said, our MVPs, our players of the week, all that stuff returns this week for this episode. So I'm excited. I know you are too. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and break this bad boy down. Let's go ahead and start off, ladies and gentlemen, with you already know the bottom. Into week two. It took a little bit of a turn from last week. But let's go ahead and take a peek at it. All right, so starting off at number 32, the New York Football Giants. Now, last week I had them at 26, and some people would say, man, wait a minute, they made the playoffs last year, Darrell. What are you talking about? 26 is way too low. After the performance that I saw on Sunday night, and Dallas just didn't care about their feelings whatsoever. Dallas was like, look, we in there. We about to destroy this team. And that's what they did. They beat them up from beginning to end. It was hard to watch. I'm not even going to lie to you. Got to a point I said, I can't watch no more of this. So I turned it away. I started watching the legendary TV show, Amen, starring Shelman Hemsley. So that's how bad it got for me. I was like, I can't do no more of this. But I got the Giants at 32. And I got them at 32 because I was so disappointed. I felt like that's what they deserved to be at, this week. Now, I didn't pick them last week. I did pick Dallas to win that game. So I wasn't shocked that they, beat them per se. The way they beat them, yes, I did not expect that. But I also told people leading up into this game that Dallas has had the Giants number. I can't see them beating them until they can figure out a way to beat them, especially in the opening game, because they've been playing them in the opening games like for the last couple of years or so, and it feels like Dallas has won almost every game. There may have been one or two that the Giants snuck in there, but I know Dallas has had the majority of those games in the book. With all that being said, bad performance, especially after you pay $45 million for your quarterback per year in Daniel Jones, which is a bad deal all the way around. That team just did not look prepared at home, of all places. But hey, that's why you're number 32 this week. Prove me wrong. And guess who they take on next week? The team I got at number 31, the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I'm going to say this about Arizona. I felt I got a chance to be at the game last week. I'll be at the Commanders games this year with Bowie Television. And so I was at the game and watching this game, and I'm saying to myself, wow, this Arizona Cardinals team is playing hard. They went out there and they played tough against the Washington Commanders. I mean, extremely tough against the Commanders. Even had the lead in the third quarter. It was 16-10 before Sam Howell would run it in for a touchdown, I believe, late in the fourth. And then after that, they kicked a Joey Sly field goal, and they would end up winning 20-16. But let me tell you this: if it wasn't for Montez Sweat, Deron Payne and that crew on that defensive line saving the day, I don't know how that would have went. But Arizona came out there. They played hard. They even had one play where at the beginning of the game, Sam Howell was rolling out to his left, and they teed off on him. I mean, I think Arizona was in there just trying to tell people, hey, we're going to be tough all season. We may not have the talent that people think that we're going to have, but we're going to be competitive. So much love to them. And just for that reason, even though I still think they're technically the worst team in the league overall, I had to put them at 31 for that. I know that's a long explanation, but that's what it is. Arizona Cardinals at 31. At 30, the Houston Texans. Tough loss to the Ravens. They were another team that was in the mix heading into halftime. I believe it was 15-6 at half. And so, excuse me, no, it was 7-6 at the half. And, the Texans were in it. And they just, in the end, the Ravens, more talent, more veterans, just overall better play. And they were able to pull that thing off and get their first win of the season. But we got the Texans at 30. But like I said last week, there's something very positive about this Texans team. I think they're going to play hard all year, and they're going to sneak a couple of wins here and there that they probably don't deserve, but or not that they don't deserve, that people will think that they don't deserve. Watch out for the Texans. They're gonna sneak a couple this year, probably even this one this week against the Colts. Next, we've got at number 29, the Carolina Panthers. They lost 24-10 to the Falcons. And, to be honest with you, I expected it. Bryce Young had 146 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 picks in his debut. But it's still some growing pains for the Panthers. But the Falcons did a really good job, came out there, made a statement. So kudos to them. But we got the Panthers at 29. At 28, the Chicago Bears. Now, last week I had Chicago at 22. And, I did catch a little flack from my boy Kyle Nash. He said, Darrell, you got the Packers just above the Bears. That's a homer pick. Look, I'm going to be as honest with you as possible. People know where my fandom is. But even as a journalist, I still felt that the Packers defense was just a little bit better. And guess what? They proved me right with a 38-20 victory. And Jordan Love looked phenomenal. Now, on the other opposite side of that, the Bears struggled throughout this game. And then they put up a couple points late. Justin Fields, once again, had to run more than he probably needs to be running. And we didn't hear anything from DJ Moore because of it, really. And they've got to figure out a way to make that happen. Bears at 28. At 27, the Colts. The Colts, I probably should have them higher. Now that I, really think about it, they probably should definitely be above Pittsburgh, and they probably should be definitely above the Titans. But the Titans did hung in tight with the Saints. They definitely should be above Pittsburgh. So mind the judgment here. The Colts should be 26 in my opinion, and then the Steelers should be 27. But by any means, the Colts played Jacksonville extremely tough. Had the lead. They were up 21-17 at one point, and had a chance to pull that thing off. But Jacksonville was able to score twice in the fourth, and they would go on to win that game. But the Colts very, very impressed with the hard work and that they showed in this game. And so as we continue to grow, you'll see as the Colts continue to grow, you'll see Anthony Richardson continue to grow. So 27/26 right now, but that's where the Colts are. At 27/26, the Pittsburgh Steelers, absolutely atrocious. People laughed at me for picking the 49ers over the Steelers, and I'm like, y'all got to be crazy. Like, the 49ers football team is stout, and they showed it. I mean, did we see what Christian McCaffrey did against this Pittsburgh Steelers team? It was tough. What a great week for Christian McCaffrey. What a great week. Not a great week for Pittsburgh. Struggle. Absolute struggle. Pickett had 2 picks. and he had a touchdown, 232 yards, but it just wasn't enough. McCaffrey's 22 carries for 152 yards and a touchdown was all the rave. And Brandon Ayuk with 8 receptions and 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. So 30-7 beat down. To be honest with you, like I said, I apologize to the Colts because the Steelers should be in 27. But that's where we got them at for this week. So I amend my mistake. At 25, we got the Titans. It was not a pretty contest against the Saints. It was I won't even call it a slugfest. It just was lethargic, I guess you can say at times. They had a chance to maybe win the game towards the end, but it just didn't happen. Saints pulled it off a 16-15 win, but it wasn't nothing pretty. It really wasn't. And maybe it's just first game jitters or whatever. But it was a little rough all the way around. And so we've got the Titans at 25. At 24, the Broncos. The Broncos could be a little bit higher on here too. I just still feel like they're trying to find themselves. And so while they're finding themselves, a tough 17-16 loss to the Raiders will do that. And so with that being said, they probably would have been, if they would have won, I'd have had them a little higher. But just where it kind of ended and them once again not being able to close wins off is hurting them. So I got the Broncos at 24, which they have the Commanders this week, and I'll be heading out to Denver on Saturday to catch that contest. Then we've got at 23, we got the Seahawks. Seahawks got destroyed by the Rams. They got their butts handed to them, and it's crazy because in our NFL Pick'ems on the network, everybody picked Seattle. And we call those clean sweeps on the NFL Pick'em. So the clean sweep went through. And every time there's a clean sweep, like all the experts pick the team, almost like 90% of the time that team loses. It's happened way too much. But it happened this week. And so the Rams, impressive with a 30-13 victory over the Seahawks. And just when I was thinking, man, the Seahawks are easily going to win this, or come in second in this division, maybe not so much. Stafford looked pretty decent. He didn't have any touchdowns, didn't have any picks. So, hey, watch out for the Rams. I'm semi-surprised here. At 22, we got the Patriots. Now, the Patriots had a really tight game with Philly, and they hung in there to lose 25-20, and I thought they had a chance. I really thought they had a chance to win it towards the end, but the defending NFC champions were able to kind of hold things off. But it was very positive game for New England, and their rookie receiver Booty, and it's not spelled like Booty, but I think it's like Boutte. But Booty had an amazing game for the Patriots. So he's a young guy that's going to impress throughout the year. Watch out for him. But Patriots at 22. At 21, the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings were in a battle with the Buccaneers, and it was actually a pretty intense game for the most part. But the Buccaneers pulled it off in the end with a 20-17 victory, as they, to a lot of people's surprise, get a big win on the road in week 1. Kirk Cousins had 344 yards. And as my guy Rob Johnson said, it was the quietest 344 yards he's ever seen, even with the 2 touchdowns. And he did have a pick. Jefferson had 9 receptions for 150 yards. So he does what Justin Jefferson does, and that's just play great football. But we got the Vikings at 21, and that's where we stand right now at the bottom. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. The bottom is in, and it's an early bottom, like last year and the year before. The bottom, the first couple of weeks is kind of hard because you're still kind of filling out the teams. I think it's, as the season goes along, it gets a little bit easier, but it was a little bit tough to kind of figure out this bottom this week, but that's kind of where it stands in my eye. Let's go ahead and hit them up. Let's look. I was about to say let's look inside, but let's see who's on the outside looking in. The pause there was crazy. So let's go ahead and check out the inside looking in, the outside looking in here. And so starting off with the Buffalo Bills at number 20. The Buffalo Bills, disappointment continues to reign from the city of Buffalo. This team has a lot of talent, and they continue to find ways to disappoint. And on Monday night, We had a chance, even though with Aaron Rodgers going down and being out now for the season with a torn Achilles, we saw Josh Allen have a chance in overtime to win this game for Buffalo, and he couldn't do it. Now he is officially 0-5 in overtime games in his career. And it was a great kickoff return by the Jets to end up winning that game. It was dramatic. It was a dramatic game, good energy, even though a lot of Jets fans' energy got sucked out after the injury to Aaron Rodgers only after 4 plays. So, now the Jets are going to turn to Zach Wilson once again, and they're going to have to see, maybe bringing the veteran quarterback to make things work there. But for now, that's where they are. Buffalo, you're at 20, and that's purely off of disappointment. Next at 19, we got the Chargers. Now, the Chargers' performance against the Dolphins probably would warrant him to be a little bit higher. But like I told you guys, for me, early, we're going to go off record until we see how things roll in. I see how things go. Chargers, for me, looked pretty good. But this game was just Chargers and Dolphins 36-34 was just filled with nobody playing defense. At least that's the way it felt. And it was a shootout all the way through. And it was a shootout that the Dolphins were able to pull off and get a dub in. So Chargers at 19 for now, but don't take this to heart. That could definitely change by next week. They could be popping right back up by next week. At 18, another team that, hey, don't look at this and be like, what the world? But for now, we got the Bengals at 18. Their performance actually was bad. Like, they probably deserve to be at 18. The Browns came in there and they looked good. Deshaun Watson, maybe numbers wise, wasn't pretty. The 154 for a touchdown and an interception, but Nick Chubb did Nick Chubb things. 18 carries for 106 yards. Watson did run in for a TD, but the Browns look good and their defense look even better. So watch out for the Cleveland Browns, ladies and gentlemen. They could be that team that just shocks a lot of people in the AFC this year. The AFC is going to be crazy good. Crazy good. Next at 17, the Kansas City Chiefs. This is, once again, an overreaction, super overreaction to having the Chiefs at 17. But like I said, until we can figure out where these teams really look like after a couple games, the Kansas City game was heartbreaking, I think, for Kansas City fans because they had their chances. And man, if Kadarius Toney, he's probably still dropping passes as we speak. And because of Kadarius Toney, I had no longer start off my great, or I guess you can say I couldn't start off my season in great form and start off my Thursday night record of being 1-0. But because of that, the Lions winning 21-20. For now, I had them the best of the worst, if that makes any sense, or the best of the 0-1s for now. Kansas City's at 17. At 16, the Washington Commanders. No, the Commanders are not better than the Chiefs. But what I will say is they had to gut out a very tough victory against a Cardinals team that nobody expected to be even close in the game, including myself. Sam Howell was able to punch one in late in the fourth. They were able to end up getting the win, but it wasn't pretty offensively. The defense saved the day for Washington. They're at 16. At 15, the Las Vegas Raiders. The Vegas Raiders get a win, a tough win on the road in Denver to put themselves. This is crazy to say, but they are in first place in the AFC West. The Chiefs lost. Obviously the Broncos lost, and then you saw the Chargers lose. So yes, right now the AFC West is in command by the Las Vegas Raiders. It's early, but that's where they are. At 15. At 14, the Atlanta Falcons. My man Danny Thompson yelled at me last week, man. And so they're getting a little higher though, Danny. Don't worry, they're getting there. Atlanta's at 14. They got the Packers this week in Atlanta. And so that should be a fun matchup between two young quarterbacks, just two young teams in general. Should be fun to see. But Falcons at 14, Packers at 13. An amazing performance by Green Bay. And yes, this person that's talking is extremely happy about what he saw from their team, especially against Chicago. I mean, anytime you can get that, that's a beautiful thing. But even with that being said, I think the Packers defense really stepped up and they looked good in this contest. But once again, it was against a Bears team that still seems like they haven't been able to figure out what they are. So even with that happening, Bears loses an extremely tough one because a lot of people thought they were going to win this one. But the Packers pull it off 38-20. And yes, the Packers are 13 for now, but we'll see. Like I said, there's a whole power ranking this week. In the next couple of weeks, it's just going to be UC. Number 12, the Rams. A very impressive performance against a team that a lot of people, including myself, had high expectations for, especially coming into this game at home. But the Rams Seahawks rivalry is a tough one. It's always an interesting matchup, and the Rams got the best of them. And after last year starting off so bad at home against the Bills, this is a good way for the Rams to kind of bounce back to start this season. They're at 12. At 11, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And yeah, I give Tampa Bay some credit. Baker wasn't like lights out, but I felt like they gutted out a win. Mike Evans is Mike Evans. I like what I saw from Tampa Bay. A tough road win for Tampa Bay. I have them at 11 heading into week number 2. All right, so there it is, the outside looking in, or as I said earlier, the inside looking out. I don't know where my mind is at when I was trying to figure that one out, but the outside looking in, that's where we stand there. And now let's go ahead and hit them up, ladies and gentlemen, with the top 10. Here is the top 10. Now, number 10, the New Orleans Saints. I had the Saints in the top 10 last week, and I got crucified for it. And they, understandably so. But like I've been telling people, I just have a vibe that New Orleans is going to maybe catch fire at some point. Maybe after Kamara gets back, and they're going to figure things out. Maybe that's my wow. Hey, who knows what happens? But that's where I have New Orleans. They're at number 10 after their win over Tennessee. At number 9, the New York Football Jets. Very impressed with the Jets. After losing Aaron Rodgers, they still found a way to make things happen and get a win, and a very dramatic win at MetLife. What a great win for the Jets after the fact. And people are, writing them off now that Aaron Rodgers is out, but maybe not just yet. Give them time. Let's see what they could do. They played well last year without him. Maybe they can figure it out this year. Maybe that tutelage of Aaron Rodgers has rubbed off enough on Zach Wilson that it will work throughout this season. Who knows? At number 8, the Cleveland Browns. I got a feeling that the Cleveland Browns are going to continue to climb up this chart as the season goes. I was very impressed. I know it was week 1, the overreaction week. We understand that. But there's something about this Browns team. I just haven't quite figured it out yet, kind of like the Saints. But, hey, congratulations to Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns. They get a very impressive victory over the Cincinnati Bengals, who a lot of people have going to the Super Bowl in the AFC. So, good job, Browns. At number 7, the Detroit Lions. You get a win over the defending Super Bowl champs in their stadium. I almost put them at 1, but I knew better than that. But very impressive win for the Lions. Congratulations to the Lions. That was just an impressive win for Detroit. And a 1-point win, yes, but for them to go into Kansas City and make that happen, big deal. Congratulations to Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. Next at number 6, the Jacksonville Jaguars, 31-21 over the Colts. Lawrence and Ridley, I can vibe it now. They're going to be connecting all year, and they're going to be on fire as long as knock on wood, no injuries. I just got a feeling that dynamic duo is going to be very big this year for Jacksonville. So Jacksonville's at number 6, and who knows? I think after this week, big game against Kansas City, Chiefs might be 0-2. But hey, I digress. At number 5, the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, with their win over the Texans, it wasn't the prettiest win. They'll tell you that as well. And my girl Karita Parks, who is one of my partners here on Bowie Television, and she will tell you, you can tell the vibe was just like, but hey, they got the win. You move on to the next week. They got the Bengals this week, and so it'll be intriguing to see where that lands up. At number 4, okay, they had them at 12 last week, but after a 40-0 victory, we moved Dallas all the way up to number 4. Dallas was very impressive defensively. Okay, offense was it wasn't super great, but Dak didn't have the greatest day. 143 yards. CeeDee Lamb had 4 receptions for 77 yards. Pollock had 14 carries for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns, but it was all their defense. Their defense was just amazing. And so you got to give love to that defense. We got Dallas at 4. At 3, the Philadelphia Eagles. Tough victory over New England, and they were able to pull it off. And it wasn't another game where it wasn't impressive, like kind of almost like the Ravens to an extent. But hey, they got the win. The defending NFC champions did a pretty good job. Number 2, the Miami Dolphins. And yes, they didn't play any defense in that game, but what I saw was 2 players in Tua and Tyreek Hill, who I think are going to be just, if they can stay on the field at the same time, it's going to be a really good year for Miami Dolphins fans. I think their defense will eventually get things clicking, but watch out for Miami. They're at number 2. At number 1, after a 30-7 victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers, I have the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco looks good. That's it. I mean, like, their defense looks good. McCaffrey looks amazing. Purdy looked like he never was hurt. They just look good. Debo looks a lot better. Ayuk look great. San Francisco, for me, right now, number 1 on the power rankings. So congratulations to the San Francisco 49ers. You are this week's one-on-one power ranking number 1 team. Okay, I don't know. Maybe that was the fancy way to say it, but congratulations to you. You're number 1 on the power rankings this week. All right, so there it is. Number 1 on the power rankings this week, the San Francisco 49ers, much deserved. I think they'll probably still be number 1 after next week, but that's just my opinion. Let's go ahead and hit it up with the finale. Let's finish this bad boy off. We'll head into the finale. We're going to go ahead and give you all the good stuff. Our record from last week, which was pretty good. Look at that. Yay. 11-5 last week for yours truly. Looking good in the NFL pick'ems in the Legacy League. Looked pretty good there. Tied with my boy Joy Raymond and Larry Patterson. My guys there, they also had 11-5 records. Joey told me straight up, he was like, it wasn't good enough. So, everybody's gunning for each other in this league. They want to be the champion. But a great week overall. So I'll take that 11-5. Better than last year when I started 5-10-1. So I'm definitely taking that 11-5 and running with it to start off this season. Next, player of the week, and Tua Tagovailoa. Tua was just amazing. 28 for 45, 466 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Of course, it was a shootout, and nobody was playing any type of like defense or anything like that. But he still looked good, and this is the performances we saw from Tua last year when he was healthy and he was upright, and they were taking good care of him. So if that continues, they were 3-0, 4-0 before he got hurt. Look, the Dolphins. I had the Dolphins being the 1 seed in the AFC. I'm not gonna say they're going to the Super Bowl, but I had them 15-2. So is what it is. Next, on the defensive side, Josh Allen, not 3 interception Josh Allen, but the defensive Josh Allen for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 10 tackles, 3 sacks, and a 31-21 victory over Indianapolis. Very crucial. This young man continues to get better and better every year. He's making Jacksonville look extremely smart. Drafted him 7 a couple of years ago. So those are our players of the week, Tua and Josh Allen. Now let's swing over to our top 5 MVP candidates. Now, this is another one kind of like the power rankings itself, where it's going to take a couple of weeks to truly establish who these guys are, who are true MVP candidates. I think last season we probably didn't get a real feel of where the MVP status was going until probably about like week 10, week 11. So it may take that amount of time this time unless somebody's just outstanding throughout. But at number 5, Jesse Bates, man. Look, Bates came in, had an amazing day for Atlanta. 2 picks, just come out there doing his thing, being a stalwart on that defense early and showing why he deserved to get that money from the Falcons. At number 4, the aforementioned Josh Allen with his great day against Indianapolis and his 3 sacks and his 10 tackles. At number 3, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is just what else can I say about how amazing Tyreek Hill is? A lot of people, when he went to Miami, is like, it's not going to work. He's not. you know, he's a one-trick, well, I don't say one-trick pony, but people thought without Mahomes, he was not going to be good. 11 receptions, 215 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Amazing. Amazing. I would have put him at number 2 if it wasn't for the fact that Christian McCaffrey had the day he had against San Francisco. The 22 carries for 152 yards, touchdown. He was just great. And when he's clicking like that for that San Francisco team, they're going to be hard to beat. Hard to beat. And at number 1, Tua. I mean, he deserves it. He had the number 1 spot a couple times last year. But he has it right now. And Tua, with the 466 yards, if they keep him upright and keep him on the field at the same time with Waddle and Hill and that group, Miami could really shock some people this year. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Now we head to tonight's game. Tonight's game, here's my prediction. I'm already 0-1 on Thursday night / Thursday football because the Lions decided to beat Kansas City last week. But this time, Thursday night football on Prime tonight in Philly, I got the Eagles winning 37-27 over the Vikings. Now, the Vikings are going to be looking for revenge, obviously, after last week's loss, but also when they played last year, and I can't remember if it was on Thursday night or Sunday or Monday night. I can't remember which one it was, but when they played in prime time last year, the Eagles demolished the Vikings. One of the few losses that the Vikings had on the year. So I got the Eagles defeating the Vikings 37-27. And here are my winners for week 2. I got the Eagles, the Commanders, the Bills, the Ravens, Packers, Jaguars, Chargers, Lions, Colts, Bucks, Giants, 49ers, Jets, ladies and gentlemen. Jets. That's right. Even without Aaron Rodgers. And I'm probably going to take a lot of flack for this, but I got the Jets sneaking a win against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm probably going to be wrong, and that's okay. But we'll see. I think they're going to be motivated. And then I got the Dolphins, the Saints, and the Browns. And there it is. There are my week 2 winners. You'll be able to see a little bit more on it if you want to take a look at our NFL Expert Show, which, usually runs about 10 to 15 minutes to talk about week 2 and how the experts are looking heading into their week. So make sure you check that out on our YouTube page. All right, everybody, that is it. That is it for episode 106 or 101, the Power Rankings edition. As I say every week, go and enjoy some football this weekend. If you get high school, college, pro, because that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Tomorrow, I got a high school game. I had this will be my 3rd high school game of the week. I had 2 high school games. And then Saturday, flying out to Denver to watch the Commanders take on the Broncos on Sunday. I probably would have been doing college if it wasn't for the fact that I had to travel. And then, you know what? Maybe I got to check and see if Prime is at home. That might be the look. I'm going to have to go check and see if Prime is at home. But so they got that, and then you got the Broncos and the Commanders on Sunday. So go enjoy some football this weekend in some form of the fashion. Truly, truly get out there and enjoy some football this week. And once again, everybody, I'm Darrell Owens, Legacy Maker Sports Network, and of course of Bowie Television. Make sure that you check us out on all our social media platforms. You can hit us up at Legacy Maker Sports on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can hit us up at Legacy Maker Sports on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and on Twitter, aka X, or vice versa. You can hit us up at Legacy Maker SPN, and our website is www.legacymakersports.com. So you get an opportunity, please go over there and check us out. Once again, everybody, I'm Darrell Owens, Legacy Maker Sports Network, Bowie Television. Thank you all for tuning in, and enjoy football. Enjoy football tonight and enjoy football the rest of the week. Until next time.
Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
One. Welcome to the 101. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the